people get bored of the same thing. They want different things. They want different stuff. They want to try different things, right? And I've had a lot of these machines in here for a long time, right? And they're proven machines. They're tried and proven. They still try to come out with new machines. They try to come out with new machines, or people try to take an old machine and do some fancy thing with it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, do you think that people are always looking for the next new machine, the next new thing, when in reality, let's just be honest, you can't, like, the old stuff's perfect, the barbell dumbbells perfect. Like, if you're doing bodybuilding, we're talking bodybuilding, and a lot of people there, they'll come up to me, oh, you got to get this new machine, Mark, and I look at it, and it's basically a version of a machine that I have already. Maybe it's a back row or something, and I'm like, it's kind of the same movement, but it's a newer machine, it looks cooler.
Yeah.
And people think, oh, if you get this machine, oh man, the gains are going to go through the roof. Like, I'm going to get so much better results because I have this new machine. Because I think it's boredom. I think people get tired of doing the same thing, when in reality, that's what bodybuilding is. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Paradise Pump. And today it's myself and my co-host Jed,
That is it. Just
the
us.
man on the laptop. Anyway, today is the Ikaika Bodybuilding Championships here on
Blaisdell.
Oahu. So, I didn't go to the show this morning, but Jed has a little insight.
I was just told there was only like 40 some people in it.
Kind of a small show, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't really know why it doesn't seem to be growing. I remember when it first started, we saw it as a really good intermediate contest for people to get their feet wet.
Yeah.
Because I mean the location was good. They had the dressing rooms in the back and it was nice set up and it was slowly growing and then it just kind of stopped after COVID.
Yeah, because it used to be a really good contest especially for first timers, even some people that were trying to qualify, because it's kind of the beginning of,
The national season, yeah.
yeah, right before the national season. So, June usually, maybe July, whatever. And you could do that show and then get into a couple of national shows right after in the mainland. A lot of them are in July, August. So, yeah, I mean, it's still there. It's still, opportunity is still there for people who want to compete. But I don't, like you were saying, I don't know. I don't think it draws the crowd anymore. So I don't know. I don't know what they would have to do to get more of an audience, or if it's just the landscape of bodybuilding here in Hawaii. That's
Well, I think
just how
it's
it is.
you gotta think of the timing of it. It's for instance, the Aloha. You can do the Aloha, and if you screw up, you got 6 more weeks to Sean Ray.
Right.
So you got to spaced out enough to where you can do both and make improvements in between.
Yeah.
Here it's like after Stingray, there ain't shit after that.
In
And then
April.
you have the Ikaika.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like what, 3-4 months apart.
I think it's like 3 months apart,
Yeah,
right?
so it's kind of hard to hold conditioning and get bigger without having to get a little fluff and then get it off in times. Like it's really hard to. I think it's one of those windows where you can't really like. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get lean, if it shows like 6 weeks apart, right? We can stay lean and try to fill out a
Yeah.
little bit and stuff. But if it's like 4 months,
I wonder if he was to move it, say, to the beginning of May, like take it back maybe about a month and a half back. So it's like,
yeah,
so Stingray is in April, and then within 4 weeks you have his show, right?
that would
Maybe
be
3 to 4 weeks tops.
yeah,
So you could still, if you wanted to, a lot of guys would hold conditioning, right?
yeah. And then you have a big enough break to get ready for the next
To
two.
next, like, national
That's
level, you'll
actually
have two
that's a
months.
really good idea.
See, because he's always done it around this time, June,
Yeah,
July. But I wonder if he was to change the dates, if it would. I'm surprised he hasn't tried that. You know what I
it
mean?
can't hurt.
Unless there's something to do with the cost of renting the place that he's at. The Blaisdell Concert Hall is cheaper in June. I don't know. I'm not sure how. I know a lot of places are funny like that. The prices
Yeah,
change
yeah.
depending on what time of the year it is. So I'm not sure. But yeah, that I could see something getting it closer. To me, it wouldn't hurt, right? Either you piggyback it closer to Stingray, or you piggyback it closer to Sean Ray. But there's Aloha Muscle, which is in September,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So you have September. You could do Ikaika in October and then Sean Ray November.
yeah.
But again, that's ending of the year, right? What do you have after Sean Ray? You have, I think, nationals. That's it.
Yeah.
So
I would try piggybacking off of the Stingray
maybe ping it
first.
back off a Stingray. Yeah,
Yeah.
that could be interesting.
I mean, he's at a position to where it won't hurt him to play with the dates
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't
and
see
the
why not.
venues and stuff, and just he's at the good thing is he's at a point to where he can afford to experiment with it until he
Mhm.
hits it.
Yeah, I really think so. I think he should try something different. See what happens. I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt. That's for sure.
No,
His numbers. I don't know how many competitors he has, but
I heard it
like
was like 40,
50,
45.
40, 50 C. Yeah, I think if you're not pulling at least close to 100 competitors, say 9, I'd say 80 to, at least 80. Like say a minimum you want to get 80 competitors. I think 80 is probably a decent number for
Yeah.
local shows, but and then you get some crossovers, but
And you're still gonna have to get sponsorships and stuff in order to cover the cost, probably.
yeah, yeah, that's true. You gotta try and get
Because
sponsors,
you
yeah.
gotta think like to go in the hole on a contest every year is not gonna
Yeah.
last long. But
Yeah, man. That's
but
we'll
it's a
we'll
good
see.
venue and everything. I mean, it's not like it's a bad contest. It's just
Hmm.
I don't think a lot of people have heard about it, and just the timing of it's not good either. What the
Hmm.
time of year?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe he's have to promote it some more. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully something happens, it gets better. Because I don't want to sound negative, but every year I'm always thinking he's not going to have it anymore. To be honest,
Yeah,
I don't want to sound. I hope he does, but every year I'm always like, oh, is this going to be the last year? And then he's not going to have it, and then he has posters, and I'm like, oh, he's going to
yeah,
have it. So yeah, I'm always kind of surprised that he still has it. To be honest,
yeah. And Ray's done a really good job of solidifying himself as soon as January hits, we think it's time for
he
Stingray.
has. Yeah.
Like that's what we think of beginning of every year. It's time to
Right.
get ready for Stingray when January hits.
Yes.
Because he's
Yes.
got the perfect month to where you're after the holidays, everybody wants to get in
Yep.
shape, your off season's over, it's time to start getting ready.
Yeah, he gives you about 16 weeks
Yeah.
after like New Year's break. Yeah. So perfect time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So on to the next. I was actually wanted to talk about something that's to me that is pretty interesting. Sometimes I always wonder, because nowadays everybody, I feel like the culture nowadays, people get bored, right? There's boredom. People get bored of the same thing. They want different things. They want different stuff. They want to try different things, right? And I've had a lot of these machines in here for a long time, right? And they're proven machines. They're tried and proven. And some of these machines have been around. Some of these, like literally, these machines have been since the 90s. I bought these things used and they were manufactured in the 90s, some in the 80s. So they've had a lot of usage over the years and they're still going strong. And I always wonder, like, your thoughts on it is because they still try to come out with new machines. They try to come out with new machines, or people try to take an old machine and do some fancy thing with it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, do you think that people are always looking for the next new machine, the next new thing, when in reality, let's just be honest, you can't, like, the old stuff's perfect, the barbell dumbbells perfect. Like if you're doing bodybuilding, we're talking bodybuilding, I don't think you're gonna ever top that. Dumbbells, barbells, and the machines that I have are great. Sure, there's some cool ones that come out, but I don't necessarily think you really need it. And a lot of people, they'll come up to me, "Oh, you got to get this new machine, Mark." And I look at it, and it's basically a version of a machine that I have already. Maybe it's a back row or something, and I'm like, it's kind of the same movement, but it's a newer machine. It looks cooler.
Yeah.
And people think, oh, if you get this machine, oh man, the gains are going to go through the roof. Like I'm going to get so much better results because I have this new machine. Because I think it's boredom. I think people get tired of doing the same thing when in reality, that's what bodybuilding is. It's doing the same shit. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a routine. It's a boring routine. You do it for years and years. You go in and you lift weights and you leave, and then you go in, you lift weights and you leave. There's nothing fancy about it. Right. So,
What's the results you're chasing, not the new equipment and stuff. And
yeah.
um, every once in a while there'll be something new that comes out that sticks, but it's not like it's every year, every 2 years or so. Like now, the past few years we've seen the pendulum squat show up in many gyms. It
Yeah.
sticks, it's good, and it's gonna stay. It'll be there forever. But I mean, that's the first thing I've seen in a while. Um, I know a lot of these huge footprint braced rowing machines are now getting big. You know what I'm talking about?
Mega Mass is the big brand. You
Yeah,
seen that one?
yeah. But
And
it's
the wellness, what's that other one? Wellness something. I think it's Korean. I forget.
yeah,
Um, I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, there's some big footprint machines I'm seeing, which is to me doesn't make any sense.
no.
You need
You
space,
can lay on that Arsenal bench we have in the dumbbell area and take some dumbbells and simulate kind of the same effect. You
right?
can go on that seated hammer strength row that you have and almost simulate the same effect.
Right.
So why waste the footprint on getting one of those when you could use that for something you don't have, you know?
Yeah, and I think, well, again, this is probably the reality is I think social media, it created that need of people wanting new stuff because it looks cool on video. Like having the brand new machine with it's different. Oh, I've never seen that. What's that? It looks cool. The angles are different. And especially some of these big footprint. Look at that thing. It looks so cool on video. This
Yeah.
big thing, right? And it's literally he's got this big thing. He's doing this. Like, yeah, that looks like a cedar row to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And what I'm trying to say, there's things you can do to change up the workout without changing it up. I've had clients that'll come in or people that just you'll see me sitting at the table, literally, and they'll be like, "Hey, you got an hour? I'll show me some stuff." And I'll look at what they're currently doing and just change one little thing or two little things in that exercise, and now it's completely different to them. Um, Maybe change like how they hold the bar or the attachment, or say, "Hey, the reason you're not feeling this is because you're not doing negatives on it, or
yeah,
hold the contraction." Now they're getting what they are out of the exercise, and then I look and I see them doing it 3 weeks later. But
yeah, yeah.
before then, they were saying, "Oh, it's boring, it's not working," or something like that. Or somebody who I'll tell you one I had, and this kind of relates, but they were rack pulls.
Okay.
So I was showing them different exercises to simulate a rack pull without having to do the rack pull, like if they had a lower back injury or something. And it just
Hmm.
took dumbbells and a seat, and now
Hmm.
they do them. They like them. It doesn't necessarily need a new machine. Like just change the way you do the exercise, or find a different way to do the same thing using dumbbells or something like that. But at the same time, one of the biggest things in bodybuilding in general, or fat loss, or any fitness thing, journey, whatever the hell you want to hashtag it, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's it.
That's part of the challenge. The part of the challenge is to like not change shit just because you think it should be changed.
Hmm.
I think sometimes people jump the gun and change things when they're working just because they feel like they're not doing anything.
Yeah, I agree, dude. And it's funny because there's a bunch of machines. There's some machines in here that I don't use that often at all
Yeah.
for my clients and for myself. And they're great machines, and I keep them here because people use them. But I do a bunch of different things, and I don't feel a need to really use them because I do other ones that I have that I like, and it's fine. But I still keep those machines because there is a use for them, and a lot of people like them, right? But I mean, there's stuff in here I barely touch sometimes. And again, it's I don't know. I've always well, like you said, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I know what works. I know what machines you can get great results from, and I kind of stick to that. I stick to the formula that works. For clients, for myself. Me myself, I mean, I do a lot of now. I change it up a lot. I've done a lot of body weight stuff now, and some other things. Some I guess what you want to say functional stuff here and there. I've been doing that kind of stuff too. But when it comes to lifting weights, bodybuilding stuff, I still kind of stick to some basic things. The machines that I do, it's a lot of cable stuff, a couple of hammer strength things, hammer strength machines, Smith machines, just a lot of the basic stuff, man. I don't need a lot of equipment for me to get in a workout. And I'm fine. I don't get bored. See, that's when I hear people saying boring. Oh, it's boring, or like, man, yeah, life is boring. I don't know. Like, what are you talking about? Like, not everything's going to be exciting, but it's exciting knowing that you're going to train and you're pushing yourself. That's exciting to me. Pushing yourself and possibly knowing you're probably going to get some results from it and you're going to look better and you're going to take care of your health. That's exciting to me. Those are the thoughts that you should be having, not the movements itself.
If you're I can take somebody in that dumbbell area and give them 2 dumbbells and a bench and do an entire shoulder trap workout with those dumbbells. I guarantee you, you won't be bored.
Right,
You
right.
you will feel it the next day.
Yeah, yeah. That's all you need.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you could do a full shoulder workout, right? Um, yeah, because I always, I like to design gyms, like come up with different ideas, and man, you could do literally, like a 20 by 15 space, like if you have a garage, even if you have a room, if you have a decent sized room, it doesn't have to be that big, 15 by 15 or something. You could really set up just with some dumbbells, a bench, a little cable machine, even if it's just a one cable machine with plate loaded stack on there. You do that, you know, one or two benches, probably just one, you can just adjust it. And a bunch of little accessories, handles, and you could get phenomenal workouts. You get a barbell, you don't need a 7 foot one, you can get like a 5 foot barbell, get some plates so you can do things with that, hip thrust and whatever you want to do, some curls, other things like that, depending on your goals. But and again, if you're a high level bodybuilding, then yeah, that's not going to work necessarily if you're competing. But if you're a person that just wants to work out, you're just looking for, you need, a little nice little gym that has, you can kind of do everything in it. I mean, that's it. It's pretty simple. You don't need a lot. Dumbbells, just like you were saying, dumbbells and a bench. You can get away with a lot with dumbbells and a bench. You can do so much with that. So, I mean, almost a full body workout. Legs would be hard, but you could do split squats. You can lunge with it. You could do like thrusters, or some type of like front squat with the dumbbells and just do squats with it. If you got like 50-pound dumbbells or something and just kind of go slow, sure, it'll burn. Not going to get the heavy resistance on your legs, but so there's a lot that you can do, and it's keep it simple.
I think the people like because you said the internet, they like the flashiness of having new stuff and using machines they haven't seen before. That's part of it. So
Yeah.
they'll come to a gym because they got a new machine just to try it out.
And I know I get a lot of people in here because I have some cool machines. Like, and let's be honest, that was my thing when I first started here was I I had a goal to really get a lot of equipment in here because I felt, well, that's going to be my draw is if I have a lot of equipment, people are going to want to see what I have. They're going to, it's going to be things that nobody else has. Oh, no, I've never seen this piece. Nobody has that here in Hawaii. I want to try it. And I think it attracts people. And to this day, it still does. I have people come in here and first thing they say is, oh, wow, you have some cool equipment. I've never seen this one. I never seen that one. So that's pretty cool. Even after all these years, there's still things that people have never seen. So for me, that was always kind of the initial drive when I was building this place was get a lot of equipment and just get the right equipment. And I did. This gym's pretty loaded. It's got a lot of stuff. I mean, I've said it before. I've got over 100 pieces in here. So
From every decade.
yeah, from every decade, we don't have. I don't think we have 70s, but we have 80s and up. So anything in the 70s was kind of weird to be 70s equipment.
Yeah.
It's not that great.
It was that
Um,
chrome's pipe stuff,
some of that
wasn't it?
chrome stuff,
Yeah.
yeah. I had an opportunity to get some of that. There was this place right down the road here. This guy had it in his garage, and he was calling me. It used to be a shop, like a plumbing shop or something. And he was like, "Hey, you want this stuff?" Because they were closing it down, and I think they had like two or three machines, and they had the chrome stacks on them.
Yeah.
And I don't, was it Paramount maybe? Because Paramount was one of the original equipment guys, like Nautilus, and then Paramount came out
Yeah.
after. I think it was Paramount, but it wasn't. I kind of regret now not getting one of them just to kind of have it as like, look at this cool thing. It would be more like a museum piece, almost like, look at this thing. The angles are weird. You're probably not going to really use it a whole lot, but it's just cool to have. I kind of regret that now. But yeah, but when I was trying them out, I'm like, they don't feel that great. The 70s machines for man, they weren't thinking bodybuilding, that's for sure. So I think every school in the 80s had probably 70s too. 70s and 80s had the Paramount circuit stack.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Did you guys have that one? It was
Uh,
chrome weights. Yeah,
no, I think when my dad was going to the high school I was at, they had that, but then by the time I got there,
they
they
got rid
went.
of it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did have an old vertical leg press
Oh, okay.
where it was just the small like 2x4 steel that went over there with the pads on it, and you
Uh,
put the plates on top of it.
yeah, yeah. We had one of
We had
those.
one of those. It was still had the brown leather padding on it and
Yeah.
stuff.
Those were those were unsafe. Those were dangerous, man.
Yeah,
They didn't have any safety spotters or nothing.
no, they didn't.
I
You just had
remember.
to get under it and press.
Yeah.
We that was only everything else was just benches and barbells and dumbbells.
Oh, okay. That's what your guys' school
Yeah,
had. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, some of the other schools had hack squats and stuff, but our school, no, we just had like the bare minimum.
Yeah, we had mainly it was mainly that stuff, but then we did have like extension machine, leg curl. We had a few different machines. I think they were Nautilus. I want to say, the old 70s and 80s Nautilus stuff. I think that's what it was, and mainly free weights. It was a lot of free weights in there, but um, they did have that big Paramount Chrome monster, man. The thing had like a seated leg press. It had like a pull-up bar on one side. It had a cable on the bottom, and what every place would do, they would make their own little wooden uh whatever you want to call it, device. I guess you put it on the ground and then you could do seated rows with it, put your feet on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was just a cable that came out. So if you want to do seated rows, you couldn't put your feet anywhere.
All right.
So you put the wood there and then you can move out the wood if you want to do curls or whatever, or put it down and you put your feet right here and you do rows with that piece of wood there. It stuck out maybe like about a foot or two out. They had that. They had the shoulder press, right? The bench press. Guys would do from the bench press, they would stand there and they would do shrugs with it
Yeah.
sometimes. So I don't know, it was maybe like six things on there. And that thing was around for a long time. And they had an extension on it too, a leg
Yeah.
extension. Everybody had leg extensions. You remember that was a big thing. I always felt like because of it was leg, everybody had a leg extension thing, or you could attach a leg extension device to the bench, right? Like that's for your legs. But that's not even a great exercise to build quad size.
Didn't the old ones didn't even have a like you had to lay all the way back
Yes.
when they first
The
came out though.
original ones, it was flat,
Yeah.
and then it had the pads come up here,
Yeah.
and you would do a lot of them. You'd sit on it, and it was a leg extension without a back pad,
Yeah.
and then you could lay and do lying leg curls. It was like a dual thing.
Yeah.
So you lay on it, lying leg curls, and it was flat, right? There was no angle. And then I remember later, I don't know what year it was, maybe late 80s, early 90s. Well, they started making the angle, and I started often like a Nautilus one where it's flat.
Yeah.
And it felt kind of weird on my knees sometimes. And then when they came out the angle and it was like this, right? It's like the one that I have, that Cybex is amazing because you went from this straight to now you can angle over and you could really feel your hammies. I mean,
Yeah.
because the one before was, I think it put a lot of pressure on my
Yeah. The
knees. Yeah.
Nautilus one was flat. And
Yeah.
it
Very
had the
flat.
one thing I do miss though is those older ones had the bar in the middle, so that over time it wouldn't warp to one side.
Yes. It used to, extensions would be, yeah, you would have the chain down the middle
Yeah.
and it was separate, so you would slide it up. It wasn't on the side. You
Yeah.
wouldn't adjust it from one side. It was in the middle. The pin was in the middle and you slide it up in the middle.
Yeah.
Because like you said, some of these sometimes the thing bends
They'll
really
warp
close.
over time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they ended up changing that design. Must have been some things. Who knows why they come up with these things.
The first gym I
But
was in, it was the only gym in our county, and every single machine was that blue Nautilus you had.
oh yeah, dude.
He had the entire
Yeah, the
collection.
whole setup with the blue
Yeah.
Nautilus, right?
Even the chest press that you climb into and you could do the neutral press and then do the cable flies with the arms bent up like
Yep.
this.
Yeah, I remember that.
He had all that stuff. And that's what we used. I mean, everybody from the high school went up there. And that's why when I saw that one, I sent a picture. I was like, dude, look what I found. Cause like I think he's
Uh,
replaced them all now. But I was like, dude, those are probably considered antiques now worth a lot of
they
money.
are.
Cause I know there's people that are trying to collect those. And that's what I grew up on. And
Yeah.
most of them were pretty legit.
Yeah, I feel like there's a bunch of them. I feel like they're like you said that the chest fly was pretty decent.
The
Um,
seated lateral with the overhead
there was a
press.
lateral, yeah. There was a few that shoulder one wasn't too bad actually. It was kind of a little bit close,
But
I
you
remember.
had the seated lateral
Oh,
raises
the
on
seated
it,
lateral was nice,
and it had
actually.
the shoulder
Yes,
press on top. You could
yes,
do
yes.
both.
The double one, yes, yes. And they had the big ass leg press,
Yeah.
the leg press with like a chest, right?
Yep.
It was the leg press, and you could sit there and you could do the chest with the handles had like two or three different spots with the handles. It was kind of weird. Um, Huge. That was huge. We had these places called spa fitness centers here back in the 80s
Yeah.
and 90s. There was probably like four of them on the alley, maybe five, I don't know. They had all spa, like not spa, sorry. They had all Nautilus in there. And then they'd have some other stuff, but it was mainly Nautilus. And a lot of it was the blue stuff,
Yeah.
the Gen 2. I mean, it was so that was, I feel like Nautilus killed it in the 80s, man. They outfitted so many gyms.
It was good. That chain device and the cam design and everything. It was
Yeah.
really good stuff.
Oh, it would never break. I mean, that chain device will never break.
No,
You know, Nowadays it's cables, right? The
I don't know
cables
why
break.
they don't do that now. Money or what?
Hey,
Or
I
is
don't.
it a patent thing?
No, I don't know if it's a patent thing because it's been years.
Yeah.
It has to be cost. It has to be cost because cables are so much cheaper.
Yeah.
It has to be cost. And like again, cool design, the Nautilus thing, right? The cam design and
Yeah.
all that chains, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's got to be cost because it's so much cheaper to just get cables. Chains are going to cost a lot more money to make and manufacture, and so. But I love looking at it. Sometimes you see the chain in there. You're like, wow, this is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
And it's a good bicep machine.
That one, I mean, I got lucky with that one. I kind of scored that off of one of the bases. It was an auction.
Yeah.
It was weird because it just came on the government auction. I don't know where it was sitting. Must have been sitting somewhere in some like squadron or a platoon workout office somewhere, and they never used it because it was barely worn. Like the paint was new. The pads were still original pads.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Even the top pad, because it has a little Velcro where you can change out the cover,
Yeah.
that was still the original because it was sticky. Like you can tell it's kind of old, but low mileage on this thing, man. Let me tell you, low hours. I got on there and I remember I bid on it on the government auction and I got them for like $35 each. Yeah, because nobody bid.
God almighty.
This was pre-COVID,
Yeah.
so people weren't looking for stuff yet. There was that one and there was that tricep extension one with the pad, and you go like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I got them both. I had them for a little while. I always liked the curl machine. That extension one, it was okay. And I had it for a little while and I just never could get into it that much. It's decent. I do prefer like a Cybex one with the handles where you can push
I think
down.
the stretch is better on that
I
one.
like that one better than the Nollis one. So I end up selling it.
Yeah.
Which do I regret selling it? I mean, maybe a little, but because it's, like you said, it's kind of a collector's item.
Yeah.
But as far as practicality with it, yeah, a lot of people weren't using it because again, you couldn't get a great stretch with it because the pads would kind of be here.
Yeah.
The newer, like the Cybex and some of the other ones, they come back here. You can
Yeah.
really get that full stretch, right? So Prime makes a nice one too. So funny thing is, I never got one. I still don't have one of those. I did get the overhead extension ones, the Body Master.
Yeah. Those are cool.
So
I like
those ones were
Masters are
nice. So
cool.
I figured that was good. Those are probably just as good, if not better. This angle to me is probably better than this
Well,
angle.
it's more of a stretch if your elbow's higher.
Right. Does the same thing pretty much. So yeah, but yeah, $35 each, dude. Not a less machine.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong with that.
You're not gonna find it anymore. And I don't even, like I said, that was an odd thing to find. Gen 2 Nollis, which was manufactured in the 90s,
Yeah.
early 90s, I guess, and are just find it on a government auction, like weird.
On the island.
On the island too.
Yeah.
On the island, yeah. So again, timing was everything with that. I got lucky. But that curl machine, I'll never get rid of that thing. I love that machine.
Yeah.
I love the angles. Dorian used to love that machine too.
Yeah. He's got
Dorian
one.
Yates.
It's in his video.
It's in his video. Yeah, he loved that machine. So that for me, I was doing it back in the 90s. I would always find that machine. Awesome design. Yeah, crazy. So anyway, but again, I just think you can, if you got good equipment, you don't need nothing new. You don't really. I don't.
The older
You know.
stuff's more durable. I think it's designed better. and I think it's more durable. And it wasn't designed to be, let's manufacture 1,000 of these and contract it to a gym. They were just built by people who wanted good piece of equipment.
Yeah.
Now it's not the case. I mean, there's a couple companies that are good, but it just seems like the stuff now is designed to be more mass produced. Maybe that's my opinion. I don't know, but
There's
like the hoist stuff,
okay, that yeah.
like
Yeah.
all these gyms buy the whole set, and it's like most of these things suck.
Oh God.
Yeah,
I always said hoist was the equipment that they use to trick people into thinking that they're working out.
yeah,
Because it's perfect. No, it's perfect for Planet Fitnesses, 24-hour fitnesses, because people, a lot of people, let's be honest, they're lazy. They don't want to work out. They don't want to feel pain. And the ones that are going in there, they're showing up because maybe they have to, they have health issues, or they're like, oh, I should do this. If it's too hard for the average person, they don't want to do it. So you get these machines, they are kind of assisted and it's kind of fun. Your body's moving. Like, yeah, I'm doing something. I'm moving my body. I'm moving my body. But yeah, you and I both know it's not that effective.
your chair doesn't have to be swinging up in the air while you're doing bicep curls.
I know.
It's
Or you're
just,
doing extensions and your whole thing's moving out
yeah,
like this.
it's ridiculous.
I know some people I know some people that do some, not high level bodybuilders, but they do train bodybuilding here and there, and they actually like some of those machines. And I was like, really? Like there's certain ones that I like, and I don't know. I'm like, well, that's cool, but I can't get into any of them. None of them, to be honest. Yeah. Um, I don't know. It's weird to me, but there's some cool brands, right? This Mega Mask, like I said earlier, I've seen this Mega Mask stuff.
Yeah.
They got some cool looking stuff. Now, I'm interested in maybe some of it. I'm like, okay, some of it seems interesting. There is an interesting T-bar row, which I thought was pretty cool. But again, what's the difference, right? I mean, is it worth a couple $1,000s to get a machine that's maybe 5 or 10% different than what I have? That's a lot of money for something that's not that much different than what I already have.
If you get a, if you look for a plate loaded leverage chest press, have you looked for one?
A while back.
Yeah,
Yeah, you like those?
yeah, I do.
Which brand was it?
Like I know we used to have the Star Trek one. That one wasn't bad.
The Start, yeah, because we have the shoulder press, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. The only thing that I got close to it, is that obviously I've had my hammer
Yep.
strengths, which are the same, and then I have the prime, which again they do come in, but they're not the same,
Yeah.
obviously.
You got that Precore.
Yeah, but none of them replicate, like you said, that the leverage style where it kind of comes in
I think I
and
used one that
converts.
was at Dragon's Lair. They had the Mega Mass one or some one of
Oh
those
yeah,
brands, and it fried your chest. Like, and you could adjust the angle.
the
Me and
Mega Mass one.
me and
Yeah,
Oscar used it, and it tore me up.
I think that's
I actually
that's
got
one of them.
sore because like you get a full stretch, and the way the angle comes on the converge when you press, it's perfect.
Yeah, man. Flex Fitness, the actual manufacturer back in the 90s and 80s, they had a cool one, man. And there was a stack one. It was a weight stack, but
Yeah,
that thing converged so nice. And they had the back row where it kind of converged back. And then you had the seated press. And that thing was nice. Those are
that was
hard
a
to
good
find.
line, wasn't it?
Flex was a good line.
Yeah,
Flex had a lot of good with the weight stacks, you know what I
yeah,
mean? And then hammer strength was the plate loaded. Back in the day, it was like you had hammer strengths and then you had the flex line.
yeah,
Yeah, those I think were the ones that were really big that had good stuff. Cybex has decent stuff, but back in the day, Cybex was kind of considered more like life fitness.
yeah,
It was because a lot of gyms have it, and a lot of people considered it was more like a life fitness brand, kind of like a commercialized brand. But now people are like, "Ooh, Cybex, Cybex," and it's funny. I'm like, "Yeah, Cybex," but Cybex was not. It wasn't this cool brand. It was literally at the level of what Life Fitness is now.
yeah.
Yeah. But now when you look at some of their stuff, because it's old, it's cool. It does look cool, and the designs are an older style of machine. I do like it a lot. I do have a lot of Cybex here, right? Cybex, Hammer Strength, those are my favorites.
Yeah,
Old school. I would like to get some Flex, to be honest, but it's hard to find them.
yeah.
I had some opportunity here and there on the island to get some like a back row or something, but it was just kind of a pain in the ass. the guys were asking too much or whatever it was, and I just was like, it's fine. I don't really need it. So, but they had some nice stuff. What
Isn't
else?
their sorry, their plate loaded chest press kind of like a real famous one? The one that converges, the Flex brand.
Yeah, well, that was the one I was
Yeah,
telling you about.
yeah,
Yeah, where because Star Trek was kind of a Flex brand.
yeah,
Like they kind of it was like a knockoff of what Flex was.
yeah,
That's exactly why you were like, oh, this is good, but it was basically a knockoff of what Flex design was. Yeah,
yeah.
they just made it look fancier than Flex. Flex was very, like square tubing, kind of plain, kind of smaller, and then Star Trek, big tubes,
All the
wide,
curves and shit on it.
looks like a Ferrari. The
Yeah,
color, that cool color with the big pads. Like again, looks so cool, right? But it's literally this. It's like
yeah.
it kills me, man. I'm like, that's the plates are back there. Some machine, there's some I seen one. I don't even know what it was, but I seen some. The machine, the plates they were doing back or even chest, and the plates are way back here, and it's huge. Like that's this big, crazy thing. And I was like, man, that's just a lat pull down. Like that's
Oh,
literally
yeah,
just
I
a
know what
lat
you're
pull
talking
down.
about. Yeah,
Yeah. Have you seen some of them?
yeah. Like some of them, I don't. I think the kind of like the one this one mimics out here with the you're in the cage pressing and stuff. The footprint's just so big. It's not ideal for a lot of gyms to have it.
Yeah.
Unless you have a freaking warehouse gym in like Nebraska where the land's probably cheap or some shit.
If you have like a 20,000 square foot, like this is about 10 or so,
Yeah.
and I'm crammed, right? I'm pretty crammed in here. Yeah, if you have like 20,000, yeah, you could probably go crazy and put some big footprints in there, and have all that stuff. One of the still to this day, the biggest machine ever was the hammer strength leg press. You remember that one? You'd have to climb up on it.
Oh, that what is it
And
called? Like an H press or something?
yeah, something you have to climb up. You have to literally climb up it, and then you lay down and you press it, and the whole thing in the back, the weights are down here on the bottom, and it moves up. And it's probably like 10 feet up or 8 feet up in the
It's
air.
yeah.
I've only used it one time years ago. I
Did you
forget where I
like
was
it?
at.
Did you like it?
I mean, it felt good, but it felt like a leg press. Like it felt like similar to like a weight stack leg press, like
Yeah.
like a platform leg, not like a 45-degree angle press. It didn't feel like that. It felt more similar to just a weight stack leg press straight. That's what it felt like to me.
It seems like that was something they built just to see if they could. Like,
Man, I don't know how many of those they made, but you do not see those around.
no.
That thing is crazy. That'd be cool to have one.
What was the one Hammer Strength had? It was a leg press, almost like a pendulum leg press, like where you sit in it and you can do 1 foot at a time and it
Yeah,
swings. That
yeah.
one's pretty good.
I could have got one of those actually a
That's
while
not a
back.
bad machine.
I know. Looking back, I should have probably grabbed it, but I have so many leg presses, but I probably should have. Yeah, that was kind of cool because I think with that one, um, and this company named Rogers Fitness, they call it like a hip press. But so I think with that one too, just the angle, it's kind of cool. And I think I don't know if it's more of a hip movement, right? You're getting more in your hips. It's a leg press, but you can really get the hips involved. Uh, that's that would be kind of cool to have something like that.
Yeah.
A little bit different. Yeah, I keep talking about this because I have been kind of itching a little bit to find another piece. I have. It's
There's
been
that
a
one
while.
downstairs you hadn't brought up yet.
Well, the dip machine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where to put it. I think we were talking about putting it in the corner here, but
Would you replace the other one with it?
no, I'm just
No.
gonna put it up here. Well, and the other thing too is I have to ask to borrow a forklift now. So
Oh
I
yeah.
used to have a forklift. I used to borrow the one down in the other garage, but he bought a new one and he's just like, no one's using this forklift anymore. So I was like, okay, I guess he wanted a rental fee. I don't know. I was like, whatever. I'm not gonna bother it because I don't want him to freak out. It's a brand new forklift.
Oh.
So him and I are friends, but I was like, you know what? It's all good, dude. I can ask the other guy. I'll ask Sherman. He'll probably let me use it, and I'll just get it up here. Maybe I'll do it sometime during the week since we're talking about it. We just got to find a space for it. And then,
Like 4 or 5 forklifts around here you could borrow. There's
yeah,
multiple
well,
people's
there's
forklifts.
4 or 5, but I wouldn't ask to borrow their forklifts.
Yeah.
there's some people I'm just yeah. I mean, I'm sure you guys know you mean you know people and you could borrow stuff, but you kind of rather not ask them. That's how it is. But these people, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't want to ask that guy. But Sherman over there, him and I, we're real good. So I'll go ask Sherman.
Yeah.
I think he'll let me. Yeah, he'll do it for me. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah,
People always wonder how we get equipment up
I
here.
know. It's all forklifts. There's no way. I'm not hiring 10 big Soleils to come put machines up.
Yeah.
Sorry. Ain't gonna happen. These things are like anywhere from 300 up to like 700-pound machines, 800-pound machines. It's crazy.
And then we put on pallet jacks and
Yeah.
move it around up here.
Yeah. I think 300 pound would probably be like something really small too. Like maybe like the calf raise, the plate loaded calf raise, one
Yeah.
of those. That's maybe 200, 300 pounds. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's insane. Anything that has weights on it, a stack on it, no. The stacks are usually what 200 at least,
Yeah.
and then the frame itself is another probably 200 or so,
Really?
maybe. Oh, why you think it's more?
No, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I think they're close to five. I think they're probably 200 to 300 pounds.
Shit.
I think the ones if it has a 200-pound stack, typically like say some of those Cybex machines and some of those, it's probably about 500. I think like say a curl machine, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't have a. It's got it could have a 200-pound stack maybe, but a lot smaller. You might be looking at 300-pound machine maybe 350. Yeah, it's I know it's crazy. Sometimes I can't believe I got all these machines up here. And I remember for the most part, I remember where I got all these machines from, like every place. Some of them I bought them, you know, marketplace, Craigslist back in the day, government auction, and then new. I bought a lot. Total Fitness USA. Go there for all your fitness equipment needs. I've been going with those guys for years, so they're awesome.
Are they the only guys that bring in equipment?
Pretty much that bring in new equipment. Yeah.
Heavy metal barbell, doesn't it?
Well, Heavy Metal Barbell does Kevin. He's super cool,
Yeah, yeah, I know.
but I think he does. I think most of his stuff is more home units.
Yeah.
Have Total Fitness will do both. They'll do like home gyms and they'll do commercial. So I think Kevin just does more home personal use stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't talked to him for a
I
while.
was gonna say I haven't seen him in years.
I know, but he still has a store.
Yeah.
It's been there forever. It's crazy, right? Wow. Well, anyway, that was good.
I will say to everybody before we stop, if if you're traveling, you go into a gym, you're trying to find out what a good gym is. And you go in and you see different pieces of equipment from different brands. Some look old, some look new, some look that means the guy knows his shit. He's picked ones that are good, and that's the gym you need to go to. If you go in and it's all one brand or look like it was all contracted out or something like that, I'd probably say turn around and leave. Because maybe 3 out of every 10 of those are gonna be good, and the guy just contracted just to get a gym. There wasn't no vision. There was no maybe little passion. I could be wrong, but usually the most gyms I've been to I've really liked have been like this one, like Kissimmee in Florida, Kissimmee
Mhm.
Muscle Gym. Same thing. He's got shit there that I hadn't seen in years. He has some new stuff. I mean, there's literally I don't know how he has it now, but he may still have a row of leg presses. It was almost like 80s, 90s, and now. Like he collects all his stuff. So that's the type of gyms that you want to go to.
Yeah,
That's the ones that I like,
that's awesome.
especially if you're a
Yeah,
bodybuilder.
yeah, because there's guys that they're collectors basically. They love working out, but they also appreciate equipment. They collect equipment, and they know all the brands. They know they'll go back and they'll have history about the brands and who made them and everything. So it's pretty cool if you're into bodybuilding and you want to know the history. It's pretty cool. I think it's nice knowing the history. To me, anyway. Not everybody wants to know. That's fine, but yep, go to some of these gyms in the mainland because I think I'm the only one here that has this kind of setup. Nobody else does. Everybody has just kind of what you said, commercialized. I mean, other gyms, there's a few other gyms that have been adding equipment. So they're getting a little better. They're getting more of a variety, and I see that, which is cool. But again, we're on an island. It's hard. I get it. I started over 15 years ago, so I had a big jump start over most of the local gyms that are here now. So yeah, because all the old school ones closed down. There was a lot of cool gyms here back in the day. They're all closed. So
When did Powerhouse start? When did that 24 turn into Powerhouse? I can't remember. I think I was still in the Navy,
um
like
I'm
2011,
not sure. I think it might have been even earlier than that. Maybe like could have been like 2010 or something.
maybe. Yeah, yeah, because
Or 9 or 10,
that's when
yeah.
CompUSA went out, and then they moved 24 there.
I feel like it was right around 9 or 10
Yeah,
they started closing them down.
I want to say 10.
And then Powerhouse in town, that
That
one,
was on Kiabi Street.
Kiabi Street, right? That one opened up. They had that one,
That
and
one wasn't
then
bad.
that was cool. Yeah, I have some equipment from over there.
Yeah,
Then they moved, and the same owner kind of got involved with that other guy and went to World Gym. They changed it to
yeah.
World Gym, which was interesting. That was an interesting setup over there.
I
Um,
don't think I ever went when I was over there.
yeah, I went a couple times, and then I have equipment from there too. So
Yeah,
yeah,
all the Eagle stuff.
yes, all the
That's from
Eagle
there.
stuff, all the Eagle, and all the free motion.
Yeah,
Yeah, because if you look at IA Powerhouse now, they have a lot of free motion.
yeah.
Yeah, that was Powerhouse. Powerhouse bought a lot of free motion.
They got a whole wall of it over there.
Right. They have the whole cable setup of it.
Yeah,
I have two pieces of those cables because when I went to go get them, there was a few of us buying them.
yeah,
And so, yeah, like I think Chris Faldo, he bought a bunch of them. So Alan has some now
yeah.
at Ikaika.
And those things
He's
are
got
cool
some.
because you can take one and do like 3 or 4 different exercises on it if you're a little crafty.
Yeah, it's pretty
Those things are
nice.
pretty cool.
I do like them. Yeah. And they're not that big. So,
No.
all right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. And we'll see you next time on Paradise Pump. Aloha.